I'd like to send a warm welcome to everyone who has XRP. We're glad you're watching. We must not waste any more time and instead pay attention to what is happening right now. Another thing we can look forward to is the chances that will come our way as the week goes on. As I told you before, we did notice a small rise in the amount of slowdown they were feeling yesterday. Since I want to be honest, today is a pretty exciting day. Things were moving very slowly. Everything was moving slowly all day yesterday, but now things are beginning to move faster again. From the picture, you can see that there are a lot of coins right now. Most of them are going up, which is very exciting to see because some of them are going up by more than 10%. Should we really think this is that big of a change? Could it be that we have seen the drop that we have seen in the last 24 hours? The price of XRP is $2.92 right now, which means that it is still relatively strong. The US dollar is worth about 1.2% of what it was yesterday, 2% less than the value of Bitcoin, which is up 0.5% right now. There has been a rise in the market's value since last night, and it is now worth $172 billion, $60 million, 0 cents ODON. Another thing is that deals worth more than $7 billion, $500 million, 0 cents happen every single day. Before we start though, I want to make sure you know that nothing on this channel is meant to be taken as financial help. You should always do your own study before putting money into cryptocurrency, just like you should before putting money into any other type of investment. The token that is getting the most attention right now is Bitcoin, which just hit an all-time high. Pepe, MicroStrategy, Ethereum, and XRP are all things that buyers are very interested in. Traders are very interested in all of these themes. As someone who makes material, I find that I see situations like this one all the time. You will be able to see this for yourself when more people become interested in the Bitcoin business. When these coins came out, not nearly as many people were interested as there are now, but the release of these coins has gotten a lot of people interested, which is just something that has been talked about on the show before. Some people might not be paying attention to how good the consolidation is, which is something I may have said before this huge breakout. What I really meant was that the price wasn't breaking out and that market interest wasn't where you'd expect it to be. If you watch my movies often, you might remember that particular comment. The fact that it is starting to rise right now is a strong sign that people are starting to pay attention to the markets. That being said, this is a very important sign still. Look at how this broke. I hope that the coin market goes well for you this week. Sin Trump is the present day First Lady. He says that Congress will choose the law that will make the U.S. the clear winner in digital assets. Take a look at how many days are left until you have to send your application to the SEC for the XRP-based exchange fund. That which you are seeing is a lot like this trend that you are seeing. The last day for buyers to buy shares in the Gay Sale XRP Exchange Fund ETF is October 18, 2025. There are a total of 21 shares left to buy. The shares that are now available are called November, Bitwise, Canary, and Wisdom. Being put on the market for sale, it's October. Would the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, let an extra PTF be traded in October 2025? If you've been paying attention to the talk, you know that this is basically what everyone has been saying. Several people have said that they think the exchange-traded funds, ET5 funds, will go live around that time this year. In terms of the time frame, is it even slightly possible that this will work out? This looks like it would be a great way to solve the problem. There is still a lot of time left, so it's possible that companies like Fidelity or even BlackRock will step in before then. You don't have to put in a lot of time or work to get an exchange-rated fund. Because the steps are easy to follow. That's a possibility to think about. Besides that, the judge might decide to drop the case that the CC filed before that is over. Happen. So if something similar were to happen, you might find that BlackRock or Integrity would help bring about some kind of settlement. On the other hand, it was clear that the puzzle parts were starting to fit together well in the right places. It looks like the future is going to be very, very bright. But take a look at this. At the same time, NVIDIA's market value recently went up. That was the same as $200 billion, 0 cents. It's $200 billion, 0 cents altogether. The market value of all cryptocurrencies has gone up by $100 billion, 0 cents, which is more than XRP's value. This is a very big win. There should be a big difference in how much you understand about how big the industry is now. When all of these things are thought about, it's easy to see how small the coin market really is. Some people think that the Bitcoin market is worth close to $38 trillion, 0 cents. But since you are taking into account that it is not even close to $4 trillion, 0 cents, only looking at one or two, which is like one stock on the real stock market. One or two is how much the Bitcoin market is worth altogether. Because of this, a lot of people seem to be honestly interested. This market will grow and it will get crazy super fast, even faster than you think it will, since the doors have been opened. Like you, I think that this market will come up. Based on what we've said before, this would really make Bitcoin open to a fair number of people. We'll take a look at this. Starting in July 2025, businesses will begin keeping XRP in their books. There is something you should think about this. Today, we've talked about the different ways that public companies hold XRP and the different ways that businesses are raising millions of dollars to make XRP their main source of currency. We are aware that some of these companies have taken part in this kind of behavior. Regarding all of you, I think I talked about this problem in the report we turned in the day before yesterday. I'm sure that this will happen more often in the years to come because of what happened yesterday. You must already know that Trinity and Weaves have said they want to raise a total of $500 million, 0 cents, and $300 million, 0 cents, respectively, to make XRP their main asset for keeping cash. It looks like the end is almost here. The price of XRP is going to get even more interesting as more and more big companies join the project. Besides that, a lot of people didn't understand this part of the situation. You get in touch with Eleanor. Unfortunately, a lot of people in the House of Representatives voted against the bill today because they thought it might make it easier to form a CBDC. It is very clear from the language used in Genius, though, that the Federal Reserve cannot issue a CBDC for retail sales.